What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be taking down stage 4 of the GOKU'S Story Edition Red Zone here against Majin Buu Saga enemies. So we do have, actually, they did a weird thing. We have a couple of missions against the stage 4 stage, right? And then 5 and 6 we just have to clear. So there's an extra mission here for stage 4 where we've got to use a category team of Majin Buu Saga. So we went ahead and built a Majin Buu Saga team. This is what we are rocking with. So we have only 6 attempts available for these red zone stages. So we're gonna need to make some stuff happen, sooner rather than later on here. So because of that, I am bringing a Ghost Usher with us. There's no reason, I don't actually have to clear it with no items in order to, finish all of the missions. So if it's proving too difficult and we get down to having only like 2 tries left or something, then I may actually end up using an item on it. And then on top of that, I also do have all of the enemy details up on a wiki page on the side here so that I can know exactly what I'm going to be facing off against. Just because of the, turn or the daily limit of the amount of attempts we can put in, I want to make sure not to mess around too much and, accidentally get caught with like building a full dodge team and not realizing the final phase of the fight was a dodge canceling fight and then we just lose for free or something, right? So yeah, in effort to avoid that, I've got all the details here ready to go. Okay, let's see. So obviously we're gonna want a Vegito on each rotation. I guess this first turn doesn't really matter too much. I know that this Gohan isn't too amazing on the first turn, so I think it's probably smart to put him there where he only has to worry about taking 1 attack. Is there a way for us to get 24 key with Gotenks? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, so we'll go ahead and select these. Yeah, so we are set up pretty nicely to have a Vegito on each rotation. Unfortunately, we got one in slot 7. That's not the most ideal thing, right? But we do have, the other kind of most important part was having our 2 slot 1 units split up. So the Tech Gotenks is going to be a slot 1 unit for us basically for the whole fight. And then we've got the Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku on the opposite rotation. So it's lucky that they started split up, right? Because if we didn't have slot 1 units set at the beginning, that could be the very, very biggest detriment to us. And we only have 2 true slot 1 units on the team with those 2. Obviously, the Super Saiyan 3 Goku does not remain a slot 1 unit throughout the entirety of the fight. He is going to slowly, bit by bit, lose his damage reduction, and then eventually he won't really be, a viable slot 1 for us at all. But yeah, that should be fine because as we build up with our Dokkan Fest Vegitos, we should be fine here, right? Oh, does this enemy have a key subtraction mechanic? He does. Okay. Okay, so we'll do this. Yeah, this is gonna be fine. Can do that, and then we get plenty of STR orbs for Hercule there. Okay, we should live here. This should be fine. We've got plenty of damage reduction in that first slot. And then obviously the other 2 are going to be perfectly fine as well. All right, so yeah, I'm curious to see. This is going to be a 4-phase fight. We've got to fight against a Majin Vegeta next, and then a Fat Buu and a Kid Buu. This Majin Vegeta coming up next actually has a really interesting ability. Well, I guess I might as well talk about the ability that we're facing against right now, which is that he gets 30% attack with each Ki Blast Super received, up to 90%. So I believe he did already raise his attack like twice, and that was a third one right there. But it didn't really matter because, obviously he didn't have enough HP to hang on, and we were able to fly through him pretty quickly. It looks like this stage has about the same amount of HP. The last one was 70 million, this is 90 million, so shouldn't be too bad, and we have type advantage with our strongest hitters on the team, right? Okay, so we have access to the standby for Gohan. I think I am going to go ahead and launch it now. I think I want to launch it now. I'm probably going to wait on the Vegito active skills here. I think that probably makes more sense. So if we can prioritize getting the Kamehameha standby off now, because part of the thing is I don't want him on rotation, right? I would rather keep these two on rotation together, and that's a lot of attacks for him to tank at the end. So if I do put him in standby, that's going to help us not only live this turn, but then, you know, get a bunch of extra damage off potentially at the end of this phase or at the beginning of the next fight. Could be really good for us, right? And then we will have the Vegitos to rely on later after that. So yeah, I think this is smart. I do actually want to do animations and stuff for this. I forgot to consider that before starting, so I did not get myself set up to do animations. Let's make sure we've got all of that. Okay, great. And then let me actually turn this down a bit. There we go. Okay. All right, perfect. So we should be good to go with our animations and everything. Let's go ahead and get this guy put in standby. Awesome, awesome. Got our Dragon Balls all placed here, and we're going to have plenty of turns to select all of those, so I'm definitely not worried about that. It looks like we actually got really lucky with the RNG with them, though. We're going to be able to select all of them pretty easily. Okay, so we will continue on with Gotenks in the first slot. Makes perfect sense to us right now. Obviously, we know Vegito gets the extra buffs to his kit with being in slot 2 or 3, so that works out. Okay, and then we want to try and get as many orbs as we can for Gohan, but looks like it's only going to be 3 here. Yeesh. Maybe we'll just do the 2. And then that way we can get those AGL orbs on the next phase with the Super Saiyan 3 Goku. That should be fine. Alright, so the gimmick we're dealing with this Majin Vegeta, he gets attack and defense 50% when a character whose name includes Goku is present. So he does have that buff activated right now because of our Tech Vegito not yet being transformed, right? And I think that's how that will work. That'll be a cheeky thing we you know, could potentially take advantage of, depending on how long this phase lasts, is when we have the reversible exchange available. Being able to swap into Vegeta would nullify his passive, right, if we don't have a Goku around. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to take advantage of that because of how quickly we're getting through the phase. Because obviously, even if he lives to the next turn, we have 2 cards that are Vegeta, or that are Goku, right? One of them should have the tag switch available at that point. But yeah, it does, even though we've got the reversible exchange available to us here, we still have another Goku on the rotation that we can't do anything about, right? So yeah, we are just gonna have to leave it like this. Okay. Turn 4, we get the reversible exchange available to us. So obviously in base here, he is getting permanent attack raises, which does work really well for the Vegito fusion, right? Giving this guy as much attack as possible is probably going to be smart for us. But if we were to do the reversible exchange into Vegeta, then from that point on, now we're doing great defense, or we're doing defense raises that stack permanently on both the 18 and the 12 key supers. I don't think well, maybe I do want to switch him. I don't know. I guess the name of the game would be, do we think we're safe this turn, right? And I think right now, because he has type advantage and everything, and he still does look very, very solid for us post-super, we do want to prioritize his offense here, because then we'll be able to get him into Vegito on the next phase, and he should be fine. I guess if that's we'll go with the offensive strat this time, and if we take a KO on Vegito somehow and realize that maybe we're going to need to build up his defense, then we'll just keep that in mind for the next time, you know, for the next run. and we'll maybe prioritize the reversible exchange and then stack defense. But let's go ahead and try the offensive route first. And then we do want to hang on to this active skill. Still going to leave him in slot 1 for now. So there we go. We have already selected all of our 7 Dragon Balls, and we still have an extra turn remaining to do so after this as well, right? So we are looking pretty good. Now it's just going to be about selecting as many orbs as we possibly can. That way we can get the strongest Family Kamehameha launch that we could possibly see, right? So we're up to 61 orbs. That's going to be pretty good, especially because we did rotate him off. So we have that extra turn to select orbs, right? We should be able to get above 80, I would hope. That'll help us hit quite hard. Another thing that would be a really, really big benefit is if we manage to KO this Majin Vegeta on the next turn. If we can do that, then that means we're going to be able to use the Family Kamehameha on that 3rd phase. And, you know, that will be a big advantage of being able to do that. There's a couple of things to consider here, right? The first thing is that we won't be doing it to a type disadvantage enemy, or I guess an enemy that we have type disadvantage on. So that could potentially, you know, hurt the amount of damage he does, especially if he doesn't end up critical hitting it with it. Okay, it looks like we are going to be successful in that. And then the other thing is that now we have a much larger HP pool to deal into. So instead of just kind of finishing off the measly little bits of one of the enemies, we're going to be able to do a massive chunk to this guy, right? So that is very, very lucky for us. Okay. So here at this point, we do have access to a Vegito fusion. Do we want to do that yet, though? We still have 2 phases left of the fight, so I'm going to say probably not. We were dealing with a 70 million and then a 90 million HP pool. Now we're dealing with 120, and then after this it goes up to 170 million. So we have a lot more damage to output. I think I want to prioritize not doing that, especially because all of the attacks on this rotation are like right up front, and I'm pretty confident that Gotenks can take care of things for us. So yeah, what I'm going to go ahead and do here is we're going to launch the Gotenks active skill, give him some extra defense for this first slot, just to make sure, just in case he takes a slot 1 super and that high chance for the 777 defense doesn't proc or something. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do that now, because later on we're going to have the target skill mechanics with the Vegetos, and then we won't have to worry about this Gotenks taking damage anyway, right? So I think right now here is probably going to be his most susceptible turn to taking damage. So let's go ahead and launch that active real quick. All right, getting some good damage in there. We love to see it. Let's see. I want to be able to get a lot of orbs with the Vegito card. Ugh, it's looking a little icky, though. Maybe I'll go for the purple orbs with him, because this will give Gotenks 24 ki. There, and then this should give him 24 ki as well. Awesome. Yeah, that works out perfectly. Okay, now the only scary part is that candy, right? He's going to keep giving us more and more candy, so he might lock up the board a little bit. On this next turn, we'll see. Okay, and we are actually taking a slot 1 super, so let's see if the high chance for the 777 defense procs. It did proc. Okay, cool. So yeah, we ended up tanking everything there. That is perfectly fine. Now I feel very justified in having used the active skill, right? It's still untold whether I would have needed that in order to tank. Probably not. Gotenks is quite a beast, especially because we did get that high chance to proc for the extra defense, right? So he probably would have been fine either way, but now it's guaranteed that he was fine. It just would have been feels bad if those were all normal attacks and we didn't end up needing the extra defense anyway, right? Alright, well, so far so good. We are actually doing quite a bit of damage to this guy, so I'm thinking, I mean, we're going to launch the Family Kamehameha on the next turn here. So I guess we'll see if that ends up being a KO attack for us or not. The interesting thing, though, is that typically speaking, when you do launch finish skill effects, when you launch active skills, you want your units to be in slot 2. That way they can benefit from the links of the, you know, partner in slot 1 and slot 3, so they can do the strongest possible attack. But I don't know if I want the Family Kamehameha unit on rotation, especially after having launched the finish skill. So Yeah, so I guess let's take, first things first, let's take a look at the links that he's got with each of these guys. Okay, so it's a trade-off of Golden Warrior or Prepared for Battle. So yeah, because kind of what I was saying here is that, like, this is basically the way that I want to do the rotation at this point. Oh, no. Wait. This is actually big. We'll put him in slot 2 because we know that the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, his damage reduction has fallen off quite heavily at this point. It's minus 15% per turn all the way down to minus 90 of the full 90 that he gets at the start, right? So 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90. So yeah, turn 6, he has lost all 90% of the damage reduction. He is no longer a slot 1 unit, so that actually does change everything. So yeah, the plan here is going to be, we will launch the Family Kamehameha. If that KOs, great. Then we move on to the next rotation. If it doesn't KO, but we're close, then we'll launch the Super Saiyan 3 Goku active skill to finish this guy off so we don't have to worry about taking any damage this turn. And then if that doesn't work, then we'll transform into Vegito and continue the turn, I guess. But yeah, other than that, I think I'll still save the Vegito for one more turn. There's really no point to saving it. It probably would be a more optimal play to just get Vegito out. You have more protection for, like, your entire team and stuff. In fact, before I do that, there's one thing I want to consider, which is once you're in the special fusion, you do get an active skill. I want to make sure... Okay, so yeah, you get access to this active skill immediately, so it doesn't matter when I transform Vegito. Unlike, you know, like the 9th anniversary Blue Gogeta, you do have to first transform him into Blue, and then the next turn that he comes around, you have access to the target skill. I wanted to make sure we weren't going to suffer from something like that here with Vegito. But since we're not, that's the plan. So we'll go Kamehameha, then we'll go, you know, potential Super Saiyan 3 active, and then potentially Vegito. And it would behoove us to grab a couple of extra orbs here just to make that Kamehameha hit a little harder with Vegito in the first slot. But if I grab orbs with him, then I no longer have access to, like, the reversible exchange or the transformation on the turn, and we might still need it, right? All right, let's go ahead and get things rolling. All right, well, we did get decently unlucky with our, you know, attacks and stuff. That is kind of bummy. Man, that does suck a little bit. Yeah, had we gotten like a one extra critical hit or something, we would have finished off the phase. The only thing that this hurts us, right, is because this is a limited turn fusion. This fusion's only going to be active for, what is it, 3 turns? Oh, wait, I don't know if it actually tells us. Where do we actually see that on the card? Where it tells you how many turns the fusion is active for before it defuses. I want to say it's 3 turns, right? It should show us somewhere in here. Maybe on the base card it will tell you. Oh, yeah. It lasts for 4 turns. So now we have a limit to the amount that this Vegito can do, right? So obviously we're going to save the target skill. We definitely don't need it here. One other thing to consider is that because we have seen where the super attack is, if we wanted to be cheeky, we could reset the app, and then we could actually play this differently. Okay, so because we've launched some actives and we've seen where the HP is at the end, we can reset the app for a couple of reasons. And I think I'm actually going to, just for a learning experience for you guys. We will reset the app, we'll reset the turn, but here's what we've got in mind. We can now see that there's no super attack in the first slot, so we don't have to worry about that, which means we know we can keep just Tech Vegito up there, but before he's transformed, right? We can keep him as the Goku. Put him in slot 1. And then that means we can select orbs with him to get a little bit of extra attack power on that family Kamehameha, and we might actually be able to finish this off with the 2 active skills. And then the other thing that we'd be resetting the app for is to re-roll those active skills for potential crits, right? The one unlucky part about this is that, you know, both of my units on this rotation are 55%, so they don't have a bunch of extra, like, critical hit and stuff in their builds to be able to take advantage of, right? So I'll go ahead and reset the app real quick, and then we'll come back in. Okay, so we are back in at the start of the turn, so we'll go ahead and switch this up just a little bit. First thing, I'm going to turn off the animations real quick. That makes sense to me to do since we just watched all of those animations. Alright, so first things first, we will select a couple of orbs with Goku. Perfect, there we go. And then now we have a couple of extra orbs on there to help this finish skill do a little bit more damage. And let's see if we can possibly roll a crit this time. I know our chances aren't great for that, but hey, if we get lucky, then we might not even have to use the other active skill if this one crits, right? Okay, not quite, but you did see, look, we were at like maybe 75% of a bar, and now we're down to 50%. So that did actually help this hit harder, right? And then I will put him in the middle slot for his active skill as well. Actually, I think I would rather would I rather have the Gohan on rotation? I think I might actually prefer having him on rotation to the Goku. I mean, like, look at their numbers, right? Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. I just need to make sure of his links. If he gets extra links in the middle here, he doesn't get extra links in the middle, so I can get the exact same attack power out of this attack in the 3rd slot. Okay, so now we just have to cross our fingers and pray that this KOs right here. Please, 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 please. Ah, it still wasn't enough. No. Okay. Alright, well that's alright. The main benefit that we really got out of this, even though the finish skills and everything ended up working out the same way, the main benefit that we got here was that we didn't have to waste the Vegito fusion, right? We used the fusion to find out where the super attacks were going to be, and then since we found out we're safe from the super attack, now we can not use the fusion, right? Had there been a slot 1 super that... Oh! Okay, well that I did not expect. Wow. Okay. Maybe I should have done the reverse exchange there into Vegeta. That probably would have been smarter. Okay, misplay by me, but that is perfectly fine. Wowzer. Okay, let's go ahead and jump back in. I guess I'll turn the animations on because we did miss the intros last time. So yeah, we'll go ahead and be able to see those now. Any intros that we've got. Alright, no intros up front here. Okay, so do we have our rotation set? No, because we have the Super Saiyan 3 Goku in slot 7. So we actually are going to rotate Gotenks off. And then we'll just have a scary first couple of turns here. Luckily, there was no slot 1 attacks that we had to deal with on this first rotation. So, yeah, we did luck out a bit with that. Alright, well, now we know, right? We had really, really solid slot 1 units for the entirety of the fight, all the way up to that point. Let's see. I wasn't really paying attention to their attack stats either. I was looking a lot at the HP pool. I think I definitely underestimated the fight. Oh, yeah, that 3rd phase hits so hard. Oh my goodness. The attack power like doubles. His damage on the first 2 phases is 980k, and then on that second phase it's 2.1 million. So yeah, it becomes a real fight at that point. Oh, he actually hits even harder than the final phase, which makes sense because the final phase has an attack building effect where he's gonna get stronger each turn. So that does make sense why he's strong. But wow, dude, like, yeah, okay, it does get mighty at that third phase there. So we'll have to keep that in mind as we continue on. Okay, I think we're gonna do this. Yeah, I want to prioritize Vegito being able to get as many attacks as possible, so I do want to keep him in slot 2-3 here. Even though on this phase he probably would be okay to tank for us, right? Alright, this is going to be a pretty solid turn. We should finish off this phase here. Yeah, definitely. Definitely not going to struggle with that. Okay, well, that's actually a little bit unfortunate because Vegito didn't get any attack raises there since the Goten and Trunks went ahead. Alright, that was the intro we were missing out on, was the Super Saiyan 3 Goku one there. Okay, so yeah, pretty obvious turn here. I guess we just leave him in slot 1. This is actually lucky, though. We started a fresh phase right as the friend Vegito comes around, so that means that this friend Vegito is definitely going to be able to take advantage of like the full amount of attacks that he can do this turn, right? That is going to help us quite a bit. Because obviously if there's one Vegito that we want to make sure to prioritize building up the attack on is going to be the friend one. Since he's rainbowed, he's going to be hitting a lot harder. Definitely going to be beneficial for us in that final phase. Okay, yeah, I was going to say, we should probably still be tanking just fine here. Man, starting out with 25 mil. You love to see it. Obviously, the support from Hercule is helping out, too. Alright, we're getting through the second phase mighty quick. It's probably going to be done on the next turn, because we do have Gotenks coming back as well, right? So Gotenks is going to be providing quite a bit of support for us. Oh, yeah, and I guess with how hard that BUU just hit us, maybe it was smart that I used the Gotenks active when I did. Maybe. Okay, so we have access to the Gotenks active again. It's still a little early to use them, but the tag switch might be something that I would take advantage of here. Maybe. Just considering, like, how much damage we ended up taking in that second to last phase. But obviously things are going to change once we have the Vegito out and the, like, you know, the target skill up and stuff. Everything is going to be completely different, so I don't know. I'm not sure if we should. Let me take a look really quick at just quickly compare the kits between the normal one and then the tag switch. Okay, so part of the problem here is that the 50% damage reduction falls off after 3 turns. Okay, he just has the 20% damage reduction here and the 20% here, but those are, you know, if you put him slot 1, he's not going to have either of those for a slot 1 super. Or a slot 1 attack in general, and then he doesn't really have many other stats, so that is really, really rough for him defensively, right? That portion of the kit is mainly why I think that this unit could end up falling off quicker than people might expect. Maybe, but I mean, you obviously do have access. You just have to use, you're going to be forced to use him a certain way, is my point. He'll still have options, it's just you won't be able to sit in base and be fine, right? Okay, so we are getting the defense raises here. Let's see, we get Oh, now he has the permanent 50% damage reduction, so he could still be in slot 1. And then here, he's got the additional 70. Yeah, so that is definitely what I should have done. We would have survived. All I needed to do... Okay, so then that answers my question. I don't need to tag switch reverse him yet. We can keep building up super attacks for him to raise his attack. And then if we end up in that situation again where we're going to have to put him in slot 1 prior to him being transformed into Vegito, we will make sure to do the tag switch, right? And then he should be safe, because he would have had 70% damage reduction against that last attack, and it was literally just 2 normals, so we 100% would have lived there, right? And then at that point, all we would be sacrificing is 1 extra turn of attack raising, and instead get a turn of defense raising, and then transform into Vegito, right? So, could be good. Alright, not really the time I want to be seeing the additionals from Gotenks. I would love to see my Vegito get a couple of attacks in here. He didn't get to attack at all on the last rotation, right? He's still in base. This is his very first attack of the fight, because the Gotenks took care of everything last time, right? Or the Goten and Trunks, and then the Gotenks took care of everything this time. Okay, so we got 1 great attack raise in there. That's better than nothing, I suppose. Okay, what turn are we on here? We are on turn 5. So turn 5 is gonna mean that our beautiful slot 1 unit here is only at like 15% damage reduction. So he's probably not gonna be a reliable slot 1 for us. Obviously, we know we want to put these guys in a standby. Let me turn off the animations since we already saw this on the last run. So we know we want to put them in standby. We want to do that as quick as possible. And then let me read their kit and see if it's reasonable to put them in slot 1. I think so, but I can't fully remember. So he guards all attacks. He gets a bunch of attacks. Oh, okay. When all allies in the turn are super class, he gets 77% damage reduction. And then a bunch of defense per key sphere obtained. Yeah, so we can rely on him in slot 1, so that actually works out. We'll do this. Unfortunately, though, we're only able to get 1 key sphere here. Oh, goodness. Because we could get the 3, but we kind of need those for Vegito. Because if I select these, that blue orb is going to fall, and then we're literally only going to be able to get 1 orb with Vegito. Man, that's a really, really icky turn for orbs. I mean, he does have massive damage reduction, right? So he shouldn't need all of the defense as well. Maybe I should just transform to Vegito right now. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm just gonna transform into Vegito right now. We did already see the Vegito transformation at one point as well. Screw it. We'll go ahead and watch it again. Okay, so I don't know if... oh, my music stopped here. I've been recording long enough. It was like, you still there? Yes, I am still here. Thank you. Okay, oh yeah, I actually don't even know if you guys can hear those background OSTs, because I probably have in-game music going. The only reason I have the other OSTs running is just in case there's licensed music going during these fights, which they love to do during these big celebrations. I'll have to mute the in-game stuff other than when we're showing off like the active skills and things. But right now it should be playing the Vegito theme, so you guys are good. Okay. So I don't think we want to waste the target skill yet. I actually don't even know, like, can Vegito just straight up tank in slot 1? Can I just throw him up there and have him be fine? Like, let's see. He's got these base stats. He is guarding, 60% damage reduction. Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot, right? Basically the best unit in the game. Surely we should be able to take this. And we don't have to... Biggest thing here is that we don't have to worry about the super attack until after we after we're able to super, right? That makes a huge difference. Okay, so let's do this, and then since we know all the other slots are normal attacks, again, we won't have to worry about taking damage too much. Okay, oh goodness. Do we want to rotate off the Gohan? I don't think the answer is yes. I think probably not. So in that case, just to make sure that... okay, we'll do this. Yeah, I guess we'll do that, and then now we can get the 3 orbs here. Or... No, actually, I should grab these 4. That way we can save the tech orbs for next rotation. And we'll hang on to his active skill as well for a little bit later in the fight. I think is probably smart. Alright, we're going to be getting lots of attack and crit buildup, which means by the time Vegito actually gets around to doing his super attacks, he's basically going to be at guaranteed crit, with a lot of extra attack power added, right? So, yeah, this right here is definitely, it was smart. It was smart for me to just transform into Vegito. I probably should have just done this last time as well, and we wouldn't have taken that KO, obviously. Yeah, that was definitely a huge misplay by me, but that's fine. That's fine. Oh my goodness, these animations look so good. These 10th anniversary teams are so fun to run, let me tell you. Alright, another super attack coming in. So yeah, we're definitely gonna be fine taking this one, right? No big deal here. Alright, let's see it. Let's see what you got, BUU. This is actually almost a canon fight. Almost. Unfortunately, there is no Super BUU in this fight, though, right? We're going to be getting a Kid BUU coming up next, so we're going to skip right over what Vegito would have fought against. We do have a Super Saiyan 3 Goku around, though. So this is canon. Alright, well, that was a hefty amount of damage that we just did there. Keeping in mind that the final phase only has 50 million more. I say only, but yeah, 120 million versus 170 million HP pools. I think we're going to be quite alright here. Especially we've got a couple more like active skills and things to launch. Because we can see with the Scouter now that there is no attack in slot 1. No super attack in slot 1. We'll probably not worry about... I don't want to transform yet. Yeah, I'm gonna... Let's see. Yeah, well, okay. Hold on. We did take a lot of damage from the normals, but that was also, like, no damage reduction or anything. I do need to be careful about this. Let me just double-check Gotenks really quick. He should be okay here, but the only other time that he took attacks against this enemy was on the active skill turn, right? So I just want to make sure. The active skill does give him 77% defense, but that's it. So all we're going to be losing out on is 77% defense. He doesn't have this 22% damage reduction anymore. We do have this 33% though. And then he does get the extra 77. That's a multiplicative buff when receiving an attack. So that's not bad. And then as long as we make sure to have our ki be 12 or more. Oh, does this... If this BUU does a Ki Blast super, then we get an even more... Oh, no, because he would have countered it last time if we had saw. So it would be the high chance, but that's only when receiving supers, right? Okay, I think we'll be okay here with Gotenks. I'm pretty sure his kit is viable enough. We'll be fine. We're not gonna lose or anything. And then we should, between these two attacks, we should be able to survive. We should be able to survive. Survive as in we should be able to KO the enemy so that we can move on to the next phase is mainly what I'm thinking here. I'm a little bit worried that because we're not getting like an ultra super here, we're not even getting a 24 key. Let's do this. I'm gonna do the tag switch reversal thingy. Let me make sure the animations, skip animations off. Okay. Yeah, we'll do the tag switch really quick. Is there even an animation for it? I guess not. Yeah. I don't want to crush the Potara. We'll go ahead and save the active skill. I'm probably still going to transform him into Vegito on the next turn. But just to make sure that we are safe as far as if this right here in the second slot doesn't KO the enemy, then I would rather make sure to have the extra defensive power so we don't get KO'd again, right? And then there's no possible way that Hercule can super attack. So we might as well select one of these Dragon Balls, because we're still going to have one more Dragon Ball to click before we can launch that finish skill on the next turn. So that's actually really nerve-wracking. Yeah, I guess we'll do that. Oh, and he gets the heal, too. Okay, yeah, oh my goodness. All right, now I'm very glad that I just did what I did. Because he got the heal, we're probably not going to finish him off here. He's probably gonna survive through Vegito. It depends. Can we get a crit here? Would love to see you get a crit. Go Tanks. This is looking decently scary. Oh, man. No crit. Okay. Well, we'll see how Vegeta does here. He is going to be raising defense on each of these attacks. He only did one. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Well, he has a lot of damage reduction. So hopefully we'll be okay. Oh, he just straight up dodged it. That's huge. That is so huge for us. We don't even need to find out. And then you dodge as well. Yeah? Oh, okay. Well, he gives himself a fat defense buff when he doesn't dodge, so that is fine. Okay. So there's a couple of things here. We can't get that 7th Dragon Ball. It's buried too deep. The only way to get to it is we're gonna have to select orbs like 4 times. Yeah, because if we select these 3 right here, then that other chocolate is gonna fall in front of it. So we'll have a green orb right here in that final slot, and then this tech orb that's above it will be the chocolate. So yeah, we can't get that Dragon Ball or the finish skill effect, unfortunately. We do have 3 turns left to use it, though, so I think the smartest strat here is going to be to do this, not launch the finish skill on this turn, so we can have an extra 2 turns to try and grab that Dragon Ball. And then I think what we need to do here is well, do we need to do the target skill? We can see that the super attack is in the second slot, so yeah, no. He has, like, no HP left, right? So again, we will save the target skill. All we need to prioritize here is Vegito attacking, because Vegito is going to, even with the counters right up front, Vegito is going to be able to finish off this phase, right? And obviously he's going to be tanking perfectly fine. Yeah, and then I guess we'll just grab these, no big deal. And then we can get all of these orbs to get him out of the way. And then all that candy will go away at the end of this, because we are going to finish off this BUU here, right? Alright, there we go. Okay, moving on to the final phase. Here we go. I've got Kid BUU. Okay, so we've got plenty of active skills to launch. We can see that there is a slot 1 super there. It's not a Ki Blast super. Maybe. Okay, so obviously we know we're going to tag switch back to Goku, because we know we want to transform into Vegito here. Do we then just want to use the target skill as well? I think that's probably the best idea. I mean, it's the last phase. We gotta, go fully all in here. So, animation skip is off. Okay. Yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and launch all 3 active skills, I guess. There's no reason why not to. So, yeah, we'll get into Vegito. Alright, yeah, all 3 coming in. And we are going to launch the target skill for Vegito as well. All right, sweet. We are chilling. And then obviously we know we want to put Vegito in the very first slot. We're able to get the 24 key spheres here. Obviously, we want Vegito in the first slot so that all of these attacks that hit him later in the rotation will be post-super, so they hit a lot harder after he's built up his attack, right? That is the name of the game there. Okay, we'll grab all of these tech orbs, and then we can finally get that Dragon Ball right here. Perfect. No, that's not even going to get it, so I guess we got to get these, yeah. Okay, perfect. All right, let's see how we do. We get the one dodge and counter, and then the super attack coming in. He does get hit with the super. I assume he's going to be fine and tank this. If we die here, then, like, I have some big things to say. Yeah. Okay, so he did get sealed for the turn. Oh, that's huge, actually, for Kid BUU. That sucks. So, yeah, there was nothing we could do to control that, right? Because with the target skill, it doesn't matter what slot you put him in. He was still always going to get sealed before super attacking, right? So the only hope that we had there was that he randomly dodged that, and he didn't. So yeah, we didn't end up getting off the super attacks with him, which is unfortunate, because that does hurt the amount of damage he's able to do here, right? Yeah, that was a pretty big defensive play from BUU, honestly. He would have been at astronomically lower HP numbers at the end of this rotation had we actually been able to super attack him first, right? Because not only would we have gotten off like 3 super attacks that each would have done like 30 million damage, then on top of that, all of these counters that we're doing would have been hitting harder too, and every single one of these attacks is guaranteed crit, so yeah, that would have been big. And obviously we know that all of the energy sword attacks wouldn't they shouldn't be unarmed supers. Oh, are they, though? Because this BUU does nullify unarmed supers. That's what we're noticing happen here against the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, right? I actually need to check that and see if Vegito does deal out unarmed super attacks. But as we can see, it doesn't really make a difference anyway, because all of these counter attacks give us the damage that we need. And then we still have one more target skill to do. Oh, no, that Vegito finally wore off. I forgot, because we only got him for 4 turns. So that was maybe a bit of a misplay by me. Let's go ahead and... Ooh. Yeah, what's the right answer here? We have another slot 1 super to deal with. Uh-oh. Oh, no. This turn could look a little bit dangerous. Oh, yikes. Okay, so our defense is pretty low. So we're... Oh, man. Here's the thing. Okay. So, obviously, we want to put Hercule at the back. We have a couple of options here. We do have a couple of options. We know we can see with the Scouter that we are going to have that slot 1 super to deal with. So, is it going to be wiser for us to do the Vegeta here, which we're going to keep Vegeta out. We're going to keep him tag switched into Vegeta since the original part of the passive has fallen off for the Goku. So, we got to have Vegeta out here for all the damage reduction. But 70% damage reduction versus this guy in standby has what, 77%, and then he's getting the additional 50% per key sphere obtained. So we also have the possibility to put him in slot 1 and then select these 7 orbs and get him some more defense. I don't know if that's going to be enough. I feel like, no, this is probably better. Because obviously, if we did choose to do this, then we would be forfeiting the target skill activation, because we wouldn't launch it right here to defuse him back into the normal Gohan state. So we'd be missing out on all that damage in order to survive slot 1 here. But I think we're still going to be better off surviving this way. So yeah, we'll go ahead and launch the Family Kamehameha real quick and then see where we're at. Okay, so again, no critical hit. I really would love to get that guy up to, you know, the rainbow level, or at least 79%, so I can add some more crit into him, because that family Kamehameha would have killed there had we critical hit, right? So now we still have to deal with sponging this one last super, but we know we've got 70% damage reduction here, so hopefully this is going to be enough to help us out. Yeah, we'll see. Alright, and then I guess we can just grab these 4 and then get all of these for BUU. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see. It's gonna be live or die right here. Either we win or we lose, like right here. If we tank this, we win. If we don't, we lose. Okay. There we go. Oh, he sealed us. I keep forgetting about the seal. No, the slot 1 super into the seal is actually really detrimental for the amount of damage that we're doing here. So obviously we know we're safe tanking all these normal attacks for the rest of the turn, but are these other 2 units going to have the attack power to actually finish him off? They might not, and we might have to worry about one more turn of staying safe. Yeah, 7 million's not going to be enough, and then obviously that Hercule doesn't hit that hard, so yeah, it looks like we will have one more turn in here. Unless we get a crit right here, and then Hercule maybe does as well, but I think that that's next to impossible. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna have one more turn then. Hopefully, I wasn't keeping track of how many turns that Vegito was out, but maybe we'll see that Vegito. Oh yeah, it looks like we never had a shot to begin with, because Hercule does an unarmed super, right? Yeah, okay, at least we still have Vegito out, that's the thing. So we gotta put Vegito in slot 1 here. We know he can tank for us. Wait, let me just quickly double check. It shouldn't be a thing, because he's only a limited fusion. All of his effects should be available the whole time. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure there wasn't anything in here that was only for 1 turn, which would make it so that he doesn't tank this time where he did last turn, right? Okay, so again, he is going to tank this slot 1 super for us. We'll be fine here, but then he is going to only do normal attacks, right? But it's fine because he's still got all of the counter attacks to depend on. So Vegito still should be finishing him off. Oh, and it doesn't matter that he's sealed because we have a Dokkan attack. Oh wait, will it just skip the Dokkan attack with him and put the Dokkan attack on the next unit because he can't super? I'm actually not sure. Let's see. I think it is just going to move the Dokkan attack over. Oh, well, we're not even going to find out because we KO him. All right, well, there we go. We were able to get the win in there, just short of getting the Dokkan attack. No big deal, though. There we go. Very fun team indeed. We got to basically use every piece of everyone's kit, so that is kind of fun to see. The only piece of a kit we didn't get to see was crushing the Patara, right? Which just didn't end up being a viable option this time around, so that is perfectly fine. We got that done in 2 attempts there. Very good. So now we've got both of our stage 4 missions done. Sweet. So that is going to do it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.